Hello, hope you're all well today. So my plans to get out and about today have been slightly thwarted. I was doing some crafty work yesterday, and as a result I've woken up today. It looks like some sort of vein has popped in behind my knee on my leg, and I just hurt all over. Even because I was using a spray can, I think because of the amount of times I use the spray can, just along here is really sore as well. So yeah, falling apart. But I thought, because my head was in the zone of I'm going to film a video today, I'll still film a video, but I'll do just a chatty one from my bed. I've put a bit of makeup on just so I look like I've made a bit of effort for you, but I will be from the comfort of my bed and duvet while I chat today. I thought it would be cool to do just one of my rambly ones today, because I'm finding myself in a reasonably good place at the moment in terms of progress into adulthood. I'm definitely moving into a better direction, and things seem to be slotting into place a little bit better at the moment, which is a really nice feeling. Obviously you guys know that it's been quite a difficult decade, and just a difficult time since leaving uni, I guess. Things haven't gone to plan. A lot of spanners in the works. That's the expression, isn't it? Lots of rerouting, lots of having to bounce back and that sort of stuff. I've always had a problem with getting older, and I don't think it's because I don't want to be a certain age, because actually when I think about all the people that I admire or I'm inspired by, a lot of them are in their 30s, in their 40s and above, and much older. So I don't necessarily associate getting older with negativity and being a bad thing at all. I think my issue was that I wasn't where I wanted to be, or wasn't where I felt I should be at the age I was. But what I've learned is one of the best things about getting older and being older is hindsight, and your ability to look back on the years of your lives and notice patterns of behaviour, things, slip-ups perhaps, things that you can see with the beautiful thing that is hindsight, changed you, whether that's negatively or positively, but it gives you information that you can use to help you live better in the future. And I think one of the most powerful things in your life is, and probably one of the most frequently utilised things that I think, is resilience. And that's the power to kind of bounce back when you have knockbacks, when you have things that go wrong. You know, being able to adjust to the new situation and cope with it and even be happy with it. I think because I've had to use that muscle quite a lot in my life, I have become okay at that. I've become better, and I continue to get better at it, because I think when you're young and you're unscathed and you're not jaded and you're not cynical, you have these goals, these plans, these hopes, these dreams, and I think a big part of you thinks you're really gonna tick them all off and achieve them. But as you get older, you realise that quite often those plans will get derailed, go off course. You have to go down a different path. You won't necessarily tick all those goals off, and that can be quite unsettling at the time. It can make you feel a little bit hopeless. It can make you feel a bit lost, confused, like a failure, and all those sorts of things. But like I said, as an older adult, and because that has happened so many times, I can now look back on those moments that at the time felt horrific and gutting and soul destroying and dream crushing, that actually every single one of them has delivered something that has brought a benefit to my life, whether that's increasing or enhancing a personality trait that has ended up being a very positive or useful thing. Perhaps it's led me to meeting someone that's added value to my life and enhanced my life. Perhaps it's shown me that the career that I thought was a good fit for me actually wasn't a good fit for me and who I am as a person. Perhaps it's that bad thing that happened has led me to being a better person. Perhaps it's changed my priorities, so many ways. And sometimes it's hard to see, because sometimes these hindsight things that you realise, they're not glaringly obvious, like huge changes that necessarily go, okay, that's why it happened. Everything happens for a reason, but because that happened. Sometimes they're tiny things, or things that you don't notice because they're about who you are. So you might, as a result of something that's happened, you might have become a more empathetic person. You might have become someone that's more confident, or someone that's, I don't know, better with dealing with people that are difficult. I don't know, whatever it is. Sometimes you don't notice that a certain part of your personality has perhaps been strengthened or changed for the better. So it's not, sometimes it's not the case of, oh, because you didn't get that job, you got that amazing job, or because you lost out on that house you loved, you got an even better house. Sometimes they're not really obvious, clear things. Sometimes they're quite subtle things, or things about yourself that you haven't noticed. But I guarantee there's always something good that's happened because of it. You often see people celebrated because of their strength in times of adversity, when things are tough, when, you know, they've reached their lows. Perhaps it's a diagnosis, perhaps they're grieving, perhaps they've lost all their money, perhaps they've lost a job, perhaps they've been in an accident, whatever it is. When people show strength in the obvious sense of the word, they're celebrated and given awards and being told they're inspirations and things like that. And while I can understand that, and in a lot of cases that's great that they're given the recognition, obviously, like everything, some people find it a lot easier to be positive and to be resilient and jump back up after the knockdowns and the knockbacks. And then other people will have to really work hard to force that change, to force themselves to feel better and to work through it. So I always think it's weird that we have awards in general, because just some things are easier for certain people, I guess is what I'm saying. And then sometimes there's going to be people that appear really strong, to, you know, have their shit together and to be able to cope in all these sort of situations. And they're just acting, they're just really good at hiding what's actually going on. And then there's others that are just, you know, again, you think, oh, they're so strong, they're so courageous, they're so inspiring. But actually they're in denial, or they're not dealing with that emotion, or whatever that thing is that they're dealing with, they're just not acknowledging it. And I think sometimes we need to kind of celebrate people that, you know, allow themselves to acknowledge what's going on and acknowledge the feelings they've had, which maybe that's sadness, regret, loss, whatever it is, and go, it's good that they're grieving, it's good that they're acknowledging it and going through this process of working out how they're going to deal with it and how they're going to move forward. Because I think if, you know, you lose your dream career for whatever reason it is, you don't get that job you really wanted, your relationship breaks down, perhaps you lose someone in some whatever way, perhaps, you know, you've lost your hair, whatever it is, it's okay to have a grieving process, and it doesn't mean that you're not strong. It can be incredibly strong and courageous and brave to go, I am really upset by this. I have to go through a grieving process. I have to acknowledge this and really feel these feelings. And I think we shouldn't say that that's a weak thing, to be struggling in that moment, to be upset in that moment, to be crying for a while, to be wondering what to do next for a while. I think we should say that's strong as well, because it takes a hell of a lot to keep going in those periods of your life and to just carry on being here and living and existing and getting through just the mundane everyday stuff. It's like if you had this really long-term plan of yours that has been your lifelong dream to do something, and it's taken away from you for whatever reason, you're bound to have those thoughts and those periods of time where you're like, why me? Why has this happened to me? Or you know, fearing that these things can happen again and that affecting your confidence, or just doubt, self-doubt, and questioning everything. And I think it's natural and human to feel those things, and I think it's an education, and I think it's, you know, part of growing up. Even when you're fully grown up, I think you continue to grow up till you're not here anymore. I think you learn from all of these things, and you learn each time how to cope with them a bit better in a way that suits you and how you think and how you function. I'm not saying you shouldn't have these dreams and these hopes and these plans, because I think they can motivate you, they can give you focus, they can make you excited about the years ahead. But I think it's always good to acknowledge that these things will get derailed, and it's not necessarily a reflection on your capabilities and who you are, what your talents are. It just might mean you'll have to go different routes, or maybe that's not the best fit for you, or maybe that person isn't right for you, or I don't know. But it's amazing that we continue to, you know, just carry on and just keep going. And I don't know, I think it's amazing, like when you look back in your life and you think about all those low points, we should congratulate ourselves a bit more when we carry on and then get to a point where actually things are a bit better and you're feeling a bit more positive, and you can see that, you know, it's working out, maybe not in the way you thought it would, but in a way that can work and can make you happy, just in a different way. I guess I wanted to talk about resilience today because I think sometimes, you know, we talk about this a lot, it's getting very boring, but Instagram and YouTube and stuff, it sometimes can be the highlights reel. Obviously not my channel, if anything, it's the lowlights, but some people, it can look like some people have got things very easy, or they live a very charmed life and everything good happens to them and that sort of thing. But most people, not most people, but everyone will have had a no, or something that's knocked their confidence, or lost something or someone that has really affected them. And it's part of life, and it's okay to be upset about it. And it really does, for me, in a way, I think sometimes it's, I'm going to be honest, that sometimes it has really made me question my, I don't know, how good I am at my work, whether people like me, whether I don't deserve good things and that sort of stuff. But in the long run, because I've had to get back on my feet after knockbacks, I think the knowledge that I've been able to do that a few times in the long term has made me a stronger and more confident person, because I know next time something bad happens, and something else bad will happen, I can go, well, I got over it last time, or I managed to cope with it last time. I managed to be okay and survive it last time, so I can survive it again. And I will continue to do that. And sometimes it's about taking, you know, a month at a time, so it doesn't seem so daunting, and so it doesn't seem like you've got to overcome so much. Sometimes it's an hour at a time. But everything you face, you can cope with. There is a way to cope with it, and you can make things better every time. I've been in that place where I've literally thought, this is hopeless, I can never make this situation better, I can never make my life better, I will never be okay. But somehow, sometimes quite slowly, you do get there. And like the place I'm in today, yeah, I'm in a lot of pain today. I've not got a huge amount in my bank account, but things seem to be ticking along. Things are improving in terms of my career. I feel happier in myself, and not happier, that's not right. I just feel I know who I am. I know what my priorities are. I don't care as much about what other people are doing in their lives at the moment, which has been a huge gift, because comparison used to be a real thief of joy for me. Seeing what other people are doing, who they're going out with, what they were doing, would really make me feel less than and make me feel inferior and not cool, past it, all these sorts of things. And now I'm like, I literally don't care. If you want to go to a million gigs, go for it. If you want to go to that amazing party, if you want to work with that brand that I love, that's awesome. I'm all right. I'm all right staying in. I'm all right having a lovely dinner, watching some Netflix. That's totally fine. I'm happy with that. And that's quite a nice feeling to feel like that. One of my favourite things about this channel is that I've got male and female viewers, because I know a lot of female viewers, a few female-led channels have just like 90% women. I'm quite glad that there's a mix. I'm also glad that I have younger girls following me who can hopefully learn from my extensive collection of mistakes, although I'm glad I made the mistakes. Yeah, I hope I can talk about things that you are yet to experience and answer any questions should you need them. I'm glad that there's people following me that are kind of at a similar stage of life than me, because hopefully you'll relate to some of the thoughts that I ramble on about and some of the things that I talk about, and hopefully we can help each other through them in the comments. And then I'm glad that there's older people that can, you know, offer their wisdom to me and offer their guidance and give me tips and stuff and be supportive, and that's nice too. So I think we're really lucky on this channel that we've got such a broad spectrum of people, because that means such a wealth of experience, different angles and opinions, different perspectives and stuff. And I think we should really try and make the most of that in the comments, like when we do these kind of chatty videos. Let's help each other out, because we've all got something we can offer the other demographic to help each other. I don't know, I've really gone off on a tangent as usual on these videos, but I really just wanted to make this video today because I was just thinking that we are in a phase of times, or an era, where I think young adults have to be incredibly resilient, and I want everyone to know that it's normal to have to utilise that skill, that you won't be the only one that's not getting replies to your CV, or not getting that job, or not being able to get on the property ladder, or having terrible Tinder dates, or being dumped. Like, it's normal, and yeah, it feels sucky at the time, but it always does find a way of working out for the best, or delivering something that's helpful to your life. And if you're in the phase of grieving for the loss of that relationship that you thought would be forever, or that job you thought would be forever, just chat to your mates about it, open up about it, but allow yourself to feel that, because that's fine to feel that. I mean, we're not robots yet, so don't think that you're not being strong and empowered young adult or person by allowing yourself to be upset by it. I don't think that's a good message to be sending out. You're allowed to be upset, but it's also awesome if you know, power through and you keep going as well. I don't think there should be a wrong and a right way, but hopefully you'll get there in the end and feel okay, and feel like you can cope and you can survive, and not even that, you can be triumphant, and you can find a new success, and find a new happy, and find a new contentment. Yeah, so that's just what I wanted to talk about today. Probably get back to having a nap now. I can feel my voice is starting to go now. But yeah, hope you don't mind me stopping by and just having a good old natter with you again. I used to like doing these videos, So yeah, leave me a comment, and if you're new here, please do subscribe. And yeah, let's get us all chatting again. I miss that kind of community aspect we used to have when I used to film these videos a bit more often. Be nice to hear from you all. So hang in there, things will always get better, and I will speak to you soon.